Hello true believers, so the next part that we need to do is covering the speaker and the little light at the top of the front of the iPhone. So in order to achieve this, we're going to have to use the Extrude tool, but instead of joining things, we're now going to be cutting. So we go back to our image, little 3D model that we've created, and we want to go to the front, and then we just rotate that around back to the counterclockwise, and we zoom in. So our little speaker is going to go here, and the light's going to go in there. So we need to go back to the Sketch tab, start 2D Sketch, and then click on that faceplate here to start with. We'll come back down here to the origin, and if you go across to the rectangle tool, we're going to be doing the top speaker and its measurements for its beginning bit, so its XY coordinate with 34 in from the left, tab, and then 150 up from the bottom. So if we just go back up here, the little yellow dots existed already, and we press click. Now we can again free draw this, okay, but we actually have the raw measurements. So we're going to go 11 millimeters in for the width and 1 millimeter for the height. And then that should be all good, and then we click. So now if we zoom in, we have our little rectangle. Okay, now if we look at this, is quite filtered around the corners again, so instead of leaving it as just a straight rectangle, we're going to use the fillet tool, and usually it should be up to 4, but we're going to drop that back down to 0.3 millimeters, so then that should give a curvature with a radius of 0.3 millimeters. So if we come down here and we click on those two lines, see how it gives us that little soft curve. So that means basically 0.3 millimeters back along that axis and 0.3 millimeters down there. So this was only 1 millimeters across this whole line, wasn't it? So we've basically gone 0.6 in on both sides. If we click here and here, yeah, and then again over here on this one, we'll click there and then click on that other line. Click until it's highlighted like white, and then click again. Awesome. We now go up to finish sketch, and that sketch is done. Okay, so now that's only the two-dimensional version. We actually want to cut that in. So we go across the 3D model, the Extrude tool, and we've only been using the join one. So instead we're going to go down here to the different tools, and instead of join, we're going to go down to cut. And we want to cut that in by 1 millimeter. Okay, so we still want to be solid. We want to use the cut tool instead of the join, and we're going to go 1 millimeters into it instead of out of the plane. So we go OK, and then now we have our little speaker cut. Kind of cool. And if we rotate that around, you can actually see a little bit of depth in the speaker. Okay, so the next bit that we need to create, that we've got the speaker, is the light. So the light is a little circle, so we go across the sketch again, click start 2D sketch. Again, we want to go on this plane. Instead of changing around and rotating, if we click on the plane, it should rotate around automatically for us. And we'll just zoom out just to make it a bit easier, and we're going to use the circle tool. So we've used the rectangle tool up to now, but now we're going to use the circle. Click on the circle, and there's the XY coordinates. So we press tab again, go back to your paper. So we want to go 28 millimeters in from the left and 150 millimeters up from the bottom. So there's where our little circle's center is going to be. Okay, so then we're going to go click. Now the radius of this is a little bit small, so we want to go 1 millimeter. Will give us that 1 millimeter radius. If you want to increase it, you go 2, you go 4. Oh, sorry, it's the diameter, not the radius. So if we're doing the diameter, it needs to be 2, because that's how wide we've made this diagram. Okay, and then we go click. So that's the little light that will come out. We then go across to the 3D model, the Extrude tool, and we want it to come out just a little bit, just in case when we do rendering, the color isn't quite there. So again, we want to join this on instead of cut, so it's going to push it out when we want it to come out, and we just want it to come out a really small 0.01 of a millimeter. Awesome. So now if we zoom up the top there, rotate that around. We've done the top part of our little iPhone.